not at all. Still no entry, I'm afraid. Too late, hero. Too late. The Voidwoken are dead, and half the guests with them. Be on your way. We don't need you here. You'd better have an invitation, and you'd best be bringing gifts.
She peers closely at you.
All right then. Apologies for the delay, madam. Step inside.
The woman cries on.
Milady, I beg your pardon, but the feast has been cut short due to, acts of gods.
Can't say I know that face. You must be one of my husband's noble friends.
She tries to curtsy from her seat, but it's clumsy and awkward. As she looks up, you notice a pale pink shade in her eyes, along with a deep scarlet blush spreading across her cheek.
Blast! I was sure I'd got the hang of that. Thank you kindly. I may not have been lucky in the ceremony, but I'm blessed with my husband.
She turns and waves timidly to the man on the balcony behind her, her husband, who offers an apathetic grunt in return.
Ah, see there? I've nabbed me a fine man and no mistake. Oh, aye. It's just the rosy tint of a woman in love. My darling says 'tis to be expected. He says it'll pass after the wedding, though I hope it never does. Oh, that's just his way. Sometimes he won't talk to me for days. I know he loves me, though. He's always making me drinks to keep me healthy, even if he ain't in the mood to natter. Oh, why? Some way to spend the happiest day of your life. You should have seen my man, though. He was magnificent. Jumping over tables, pushing people out of the way. He's quite the athlete. It was beautiful. We said our vows, tied the ceremonial knot. The priestess was just finishing her sermon when these things appeared. It looked like they were wriggling out of the ground below us. And then they started killing. The priestess, my family, my friends. If not for the guards, they'd have got me too. We're not up to anything. We're merchants, not mystics. If you want source, talk to Kem and his bloody paladins. They're the ones to blame. They're bad as the Black Ring, bringing this down on us. My sweet husband could have been killed. Well, it's not like I have much else to do for the time being but chat.
Hey! Psst. Over here.
The noble-looking dwarf beckons Ifan come closer. Ifan narrows his eyes, but strides over anyhow.
I've heard tell of you before. You're that Silver Fang or something, right? Look, I know you're him. I know you can take care of problems. And I've got just the problem for you. A very lucrative one. I need you to take care of my father-in-law.
The dwarf winks in an exaggerated fashion, squeezing one eye shut so forcefully it looks like his face just swallowed an eyeball. In return, Ifan raises one eyebrow, slowly.
The man you speak of is not who I am, anymore. And I'll not become him again for the likes of you.
Without another word, Ifan turns on one heel and strides away, leaving the aggrieved dwarf spluttering in his wake. Ifan gives you a sheepish look, all flinty eyes and hunched shoulders.
That's just not the kind of business I'm interested in anymore.
He nods, a faraway look in his eyes.
After the death fog, I truly thought there was no point to anything anymore. But now, after all we've been through together, I've got a new purpose. Stopping Divinity.
Nice day for it, don't you think?
The dwarf glances at Ifan, pulls you close and whispers.
The Silverclaw's blade is clearly dulled, but you look like a woman of action, a doer of deeds. And I have a matter of some urgency I'd ask you to attend to. My new father-in-law, Mikhail Ross, must die, and you must retrieve his will. I will not prescribe the methods you use, but I shall insist on your discretion. Now, tell me, what payment do you require for this service? I have a certain skill with alchemy. I could certainly teach you a thing or two. Of course, if you don't have the wit for that, I can see you richly rewarded in all manner of potions. They could grant you health, strength, or even love.
The dwarf recoils. His face is a mask of abject horror.
That won't be necessary. Just see that it's done. By Duna's beard, these savages.
You again? I never knew my husband to have such chatty friends.
She stares at you in horror. You think you see that strange pink tint in her eyes fade a little.
What? No. No, that's not true. That's impossible.
Her eye twitches and her mouth moves silently, but aggressively. It almost looks like she's having an argument with herself. She drops her head to her hands, but when she looks up at you again, the pink tint has cleared completely from her eyes.
That high-born sack of fish guts! I'll tear those sparkling teeth out of his smirking head! I have to go. I have to speak to my father, and thank you. Thank you for helping see what that lying weasel really is. Daddy, I think my husband's trying to kill you.
That little creep. He won't get away with it. You here to do Dorian's dirty work? Figured it wouldn't be long before you showed up. I tell you what, you seem an honourable sort. See Dorian dead and I will meet his offer. All right, fine. But be quick about it. I don't have the luxury of time.
You've come to serve, yes? Excellent. Bring me my slippers. Chop chop. Do hurry. My hooves are shivering from the chill.
If you're here for the groom, you'd better be talking to my father. Seems everyone knows more about that bag of bones than I did. Who's to say? One moment, someone's blowing kisses at you from 2 rooms over and asking to see your father's money ledgers, and the next, they're stabbing you in the damn heart. Can't find a motive there, to be honest. He was just taking an interest in my family, he was. Next time, please bring back my husband. Or at least, bits of him.
Clear off. Need to keep the way clear. Ain't no getaway happening here. And if there is, I ain't involved. Get it? Ain't no one going nowhere as far as you're concerned. Ain't no one packing up and moving out of the city in a hurry. And that no one ain't no dwarf. Get it? Now go on, clear off. Good. Now clear off. You're in the way.
Well, hello, gorgeous. Care to hear about the power of cheese? I've got wheels and rounds and blocks and rolls and possibly more. But my wares are nuanced, with undertones of something rare.
She looks you up and down, then...
What's on my mind? Why, texture, maturity, taste. But most of all, I'm wondering what tickles your fancy. Looking at you, I think it may be power. Am I right? So I have not misjudged you. Now, we've established how you feel about power. How do you feel about law? Specifically laws relating to property and the acquisition of goods,
A glint appears in her eye, and she smiles. Then she raises her hands and shows you her rings.
Perhaps this is the power you seek. I've been waiting for the right customer to come along for these, but I warn you, power doesn't come cheap. Even for someone as attractive as you. Are they stolen? Darling, what power isn't? I have my little helpers, here, there, and everywhere, who bring me things that they have found. After all, no one has as many friends as an elf with many cheeses. The pleasure was mine.
Business doesn't stop for long round here.
Nothing as fragrant as an open sewer, hey?
This place stinks. What's this? I found something.
I found something.
Explosives. And we're locked in with them. No one strike a light.
Again? I should hate to spoil your fun, but this will not be as easy as you might think.
The dwarf grins as he lifts a flap of cloth to reveal a string of grenades around his waist.
What's your maker? Hear ye! What's she looking for?
Very funny.
I'm not tricky. A lot of the arrows fly. Do you know who I am?
Is it done? What? You thought I might just hang around here until that madman finds a fleshy place to stick his dagger? Fat chance of that. I'm glad we agree. Now, I'm sure your social schedule is exhausting. You must have another gathering to attend, I'm sure. Bye now. Is it done? Oh, yes? Well, I certainly could use some good news amongst the bad. I am a man of my word. Here is the payment promised, and extra besides. Now, I'm grateful and all, but you need to give me some elbow room. There will be a time to dry Isla's tears over a not good, very bad day. Now isn't that time.
If you're here for the groom, you'd better be talking to my father. Seems everyone knows more about that bag of bones than I did. Oh? Tell my father. I reckon he'll be thrilled his darling Lulabelle is safe from the advances of such a rogue. Thanks. I'd best start sobbing, for his aunt suspects I'm none too torn up about my noble little turd muffin up in tail and running.